Alright, welcome back. Let's do a quick Sunday show, shall we? A lot's been well, there's always a lot going on now, right? It's like something new every week. You guys just have to stay cool because the biggest opportunities are when there's blood in the streets, right? When there's just crazy volatility and, the world's an uncertain place. First of all, not financial advice. Consult your licensed financial advisor. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Do not invest in anything you're not willing to lose or lose sleep over. Okay. The futures right now, so it's Sunday night in the US, they're down. Okay. And I believe they are down because this is the free chat group if you guys want to come in here. Here's the newsroom. You guys should all be in there. It's like what, 500 in the free and then only 253 in the news. Anyways, I posted this on Twitter. It was breaking news a few hours ago. But NATO countries have a green light to send fighter jets into Ukraine. That's probably, not good. Not good at all, right? That's going to start. That's escalating. They're just going to keep escalating it. And it's the perfect excuse for the markets, strategic location. I've gone through that in my previous video, right? So things are going to get choppy. Now, when they get choppy, they're opportunities for people who trade, right? Or at least you want to position yourself prior and you want to benefit off of it. And for the most part, though, you want to hedge against it so you don't get wrecked and annihilated. So the stock market's red across the board. VIX is up. Everything's green. Everything's up. Let's take a look at crypto real quick. It's getting annihilated. Bitcoin's at 38,000. Well, not annihilated, but we're gonna look at crypto. We're gonna look at everything in this video. It's not gonna be just the market. So here's the thing. I see a lot of opportunity coming up this spring and summer. Major swings, major opportunities. Okay. I know a lot of people are worried about this, which is Hex. It's down about 80% from its all-time high. It's been in a bear for 167 days. Okay. But, relatively, if you zoom out, for the people, like in my private group who got in, since day one, it's all right. Although, let's just say a lot of us are down massively, like in dollar value, but that doesn't matter. Listen, it's all emotions. It's nothing else. That's all it is. Everyone thought PulseChain would have been out by now. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What has changed? Nothing. It's just people's emotions. I'm actually hoping this thing drops much further. I would love to see a penny again. I would love it. And listen, guys, I never cashed out. I've taken funds and I've sponsored things to onboard, but I've never, you don't see me flexing with Louis or a Lambo, right? So, but I have an understanding of what this is, where it's going, and what the possibilities are going to be. Liquid supply is dwindling, okay? It's really low. And the supply coming onto the market is from stakes, an emergency and stakes, and then the price goes lower. And we don't have any buyers. People are tapped out. People have to pay taxes and so forth. And people are chasing other things, other shiny objects. There's a bunch of new projects coming out. They're chasing that, and and honestly, I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to give too much away, right? So that's the thing. Like these are free videos. So here's what I'm doing. I'm doing a fire sale. You want to join the private group and get the good stuff? Now's your chance. Huge discount. It's usually around $220, $250, $49. limited time, and it pays for itself. I made a lot of millionaires, guys. Like, I don't like bragging, but I made a lot of people rich, including myself, in the past couple of years. All right, because I could find opportunities. I've made some fantastic calls. I'm constantly making calls for the stock market, and it's not just crypto that's gonna make us super wealthy. It is metals and mining stocks. I'm going to talk about that. Take advantage of this. It should pay for itself. If you're not satisfied, whatever. But we're looking at $49 to join, and then $20 a month to stay in the private group. And you know what? There's always a few months where it's boring, and then all of a sudden the opportunities are there, where you get massive life-changing swings and trades. I called the top to the stock market pretty much. Like, I keep making calls that nobody else does. Not just in crypto. Well, in crypto they haven't been that great lately, but it doesn't matter. But in the stock market, I've been very, very good. Now, I can't promise I could constantly deliver the best calls ever, and they're not always that great. I thought mining stocks were going to go up in early 2021 last year. They didn't. It was a horrible bear market. But you know what? At least I got to see which stocks, which companies held up during a horrible bear market, right? For the commodity sector and the mining stocks. But now a lot of them have gone up. Not all, but the opportunity is still there. I'll show you guys in a second. So take advantage of this. $49. Like, it's usually over 200. Pays for itself. Should. No promises, but like I said, a lot of people have done really, really well. Like, life-changing, right? Pays for itself. Alright, so where was I? Crypto. And it all ties together. It's all macro. Okay? So I'm looking at the geopolitical stuff going on. I'm looking at the yield curve. I'm looking at all sorts of things, right? I'm looking at like the ARK fund. I'm looking at what's going to blow up next. Russia's taking off the SWIFT banking system. We just did like a 100% rally. Commodities don't ever do that. Oil is over $100 a barrel. Inflation's running high. Supply chain's wobbly. There's so much going on. I feel like, and then there's rate hikes coming, supposedly, in the next week or so. There's so much going on. I cannot make a video explaining it all where, like, it's not going to be like a 4-hour video, and I don't want to do that. I just don't. I'm too busy actually trading and doing. So I'm just going to lightly go over everything. Lightly, okay? And that's what the private group's for. So, all right, we'll look at crypto, and then we'll look at the market and everything else. TA-wise, Bitcoin looks oversold on the weekly. It does. Does that mean it's going to rebound and recover? I don't think so. I think we're still due to drop, like, at least to the 200-week moving average. Take you to 20,000. Why is that? It's sort of correlated to the stock market. There's more downside coming for the stock market. Why? I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Possible rate hikes. Possible. One of these, something's going to break. Long-term capital management, whatever that was called, in the late 1999, in the 2000 year, right before the dot-com bubble pop. That thing broke. It was like this hedge fund with AI algos, whatever, but it was big and it had a lot of money in it, a lot of capital in it, like billions. Back then that was worth more. That blew up because something happened geopolitically in Asia. Okay, well, what's happening now is much greater than that, right? And everyone is so over leveraged. On top of that, we have massive inflation, but it's also due to shortages of raw materials like fertilizer. Well, the West put sanctions on Russia, well, they're going to stop shipping fertilizer. And we apparently just stopped buying oil from them, although we're no longer independent. So when gas goes up, you have wheat. Well, the wheat is going to affect the rest of the world, not so much the U.S. But when you have commodities exploding in price like this, and gasoline, which when you need oil and gasoline to ship everything, which also disrupts the supply chain, which is already kind of disrupted permanently from all the lockdowns, prices are going to just keep going up. But so here's what's the complexity of it all, right? As prices go up, people can't afford to buy things. They could only buy the necessities like food, right? And gas to go to work. But at some point, everything else, they stop buying. Their discretionary spending just disappears, vanishes. And then they start cutting back, right? On, I don't know, Netflix, hopefully, all kinds of subscriptions and whatnot. And then they start cutting back on what's next, on vacations. And then they start cutting back on everything they have to, because they have to at this point in the US. But and in Europe. And utilities are going up. At the same time, how's this going to affect the market? I believe some people are going to start selling stocks and they're going to start selling cryptos to live. What does that do? Bear market. It's risk off. It is what it is. So why not? Not just that, there's still a lot of stupid shit in crypto. The apes are still going, the NFTs, all this garbage. A lot of these degens need to get washed out. They do. And these are my theories and my fundamentals, sort of, right? On top of that, again, things are escalating geopolitically wise, right? And I think the powers to be want that. They definitely do. They're doing it. From both sides, all sides, whatever. And for the central bank, right, for Powell, that'll be the perfect excuse to either only do one rate hike, one and done, or call it off. Now, because he calls off the rate hikes, will that stop the market from plunging? No, it won't, because they have to actually print more. Now, there is printing in the background, autopilot, which is quantitative easing, but is that enough to keep the markets up? I don't believe so. It'll keep it maybe somewhat sideways, then down, somewhat sideways, then down. I'm just thinking out loud, guys. Anyways, the moral of the story is I think there's more downside for crypto. I just do. And the weekly looks like a buy with all my blue candles, but look, there's no real support. The minute Bitcoin falls below 35,000, it's going straight to like 28,000. And that might not even hold it. It's just an airdrop to the 200-week moving average. And that should flush out a lot of people. It might even wick down to like 14, 15,000. I mean, right here, obviously this is a head and shoulder type pattern that already played out. Fell down to 33,000. But this, if you just want to draw, that looks horrible. But here, let me blow it up. Give me a second. This is a bearish pennant. Give me a second. Let me zoom in. Let me take it to the 3-day chart. All right. Here. Bearish pennant. And then I'm expecting a drop. All right. And the rest of the crypto market should go with it. Hopefully, so will Hex. The thing with Hex is on the weekly, next week we'll get a 9 count buy signal. On the 3-day, it's at a 7 count. So maybe 6 more days downside. On the daily, on a 6 count, 7, 8, 9, so 3 more days. But here's the thing, none of this shit matters if Bitcoin's crashing like another 50%. And I believe there's more downside to come. More pain. But you should be happy if you've listened to me. If you're staked, you're buying the dip every day. So let's say 2 to 3, maybe 4 more weeks of downside. Maybe more, because PulseChain might take a few more months. Maybe it won't come out till summer. Maybe till 2023, early. I don't know. I have no idea. But, I mean, testnet 3 should come out when that comes out, then we know we have probably, it's coming. Like when testnet 3 is out, maybe 4 weeks of testing, something like that, and then it just launches. But we're not there yet. But that is the next step. Anyways, if you bought the all-time high, right, the top, your stakes bought you the dip every single day for 168 days. So you've been buying the dip. If you literally bought the top and you staked, you've been buying the dip every single day. If you bought earlier, I mean, you've been buying the highs and the lows this entire time. And again, does it matter in the end if X goes to $1 or 5 or 10 or whatever? No. This is just, this is what happens in crypto. Dips are in the game and they could happen. Can we get a 90% dump? Absolutely. Why not? I would love it. Love it. 90% takes you to 5 cents. What would a 95% look like? That'd be awesome. Oh boy. Let's just do a 94%, whatever. Let me do it again. So a 93% takes you around 0.0, it takes you to 3 cents. That'd be fantastic. What would take us to a 96% drop would take us to around a penny. I highly doubt that'll happen. I'd absolutely love for that to happen, but yeah. So this week just switched over, and I got a buy signal on the weekly. But I don't know. Sentiment's pretty bad. I do think Bitcoin and Ethereum will drop. Now I could be wrong, right? But the reason is look, futures. This is what the futures look like right now. That was crypto. Gonna switch up by tomorrow morning, maybe. It all depends on the news cycle, kinda. And I hate saying that because the markets supposedly don't follow the news. The news follows the markets. So let's look at the stock market real quick. What's going on over here? VIX has been doing great. I've taken I had a couple call options on the VIX. So I had to execute them, right? And I took some decent profits. The dollar DXY is at 98.8. That's because everyone's fleeing into the dollar right now from other fiat currencies. Funny thing though, right? Gold is exploding with the DXY. And I kept telling people for years now, for some fucking reason, everyone's like, look at the DXY, it's going up. The gold goes down when DXY goes up. I even had a fund manager arguing with me. I'm like, no, DXY doesn't matter. Both could go up. I've seen it happen plenty of times because the DXY is a basket of bunch of fiat currencies. They're just trading against one another, right? And they're just trading against the dollar. All right. The yield has dropped and it's at 1.725. If the yield, so if the 10-year yield drops back down to 1.4 or 1.2, but the short end of the curve rises, although it's pegged temporarily, right? But if the Fed, so if Powell raises rates 50 basis points and the 10-year yield drops, but the 30-year yield rises, then you have a yield curve inversion. And then you have it could be anywhere from a week to I don't know, man, 8 months or 12 months before a huge stock market correction. But these based on history, but that doesn't matter anymore because it's so fake, the entire stock market, that the smallest thing could just prick this bubble. It's already popping, to be honest. So popping now. All right, here's the VIX. I would love... So, if things escalate tomorrow and into this week, I mean, a nice pop up into the 40s, maybe to $50, $56, that'd be amazing. And that would give the excuse for the central banks to stop raising rates. And maybe if it's bad enough, the carnage and the escalation of the war, maybe that'll give them the excuse to start up more stimulus. But that's weird, right? Because commodity prices would go through the roof. And there needs to be a correction. So what I'm trying to say is, these are all the indices, right? Here's S&P 500, NASDAQ, FANG Index, Dow Jones, Russell 2000, Vanguard, Total World Stock Index. This is a big one to watch. Nobody else watches. They're all below their 200-day moving averages. All of them. substantially below them, which is kind of like falling out of the parabola on the daily at least. We take it to the weekly. The Vanguard hasn't quite hit the 100-day move, or no, is that the 52? No, it's the 100 weekly moving average. What does S&P 500 look like on the weekly? Yeah, that has a straight up airdrop to the 100 weekly moving average. That'd be a nice. I mean, in a normal world, it should fall to the 200 week moving average with everything going on, but they won't let it fall that low because they can't reinflate it, and it's just absolute carnage. Like 500 Fortune 100 companies going bust, going belly up. So look at the S&P 500. Yeah, I mean, easily 3 more weeks of downside to test around 4,000 on the S&P 500. So a correction that bad, right? Another like 10% drop. Is that enough to justify taking rate hikes off the table and then doing more QE? That's why I think they're gonna just escalate shit in Europe, guys. They need the excuse. And believe me, the people at the real top here, they look at the markets because unfortunately the West really depends on this financialized equities, markets, and bonds. Like the economy is so not real. That's why, like Russia at least, I mean, they don't care about their stock market because their economy is real. That's why they seem weak, and everyone on Twitter is like, their GDP's like California's. Like, that doesn't matter. It's all about, can you withstand financially hard times? Because they have real industrial base and real resources, right? All right. So again, that's why I think cryptos will fall with the rest of the markets, and we have more downside. What's interesting to me is, what are they gonna do about inflation? Technically, if the market could dump hard enough, and it really does revisit the 200-week moving average, that does bring down commodity prices and oil and everything, because everything kind of dumps with it. But then right after that, they have to do QE, and then everything reinflates. The stock market won't, I don't think it'll ever make all-time highs ever again if it revisits the 200-week moving average, the equities. But at least it would keep it, kind of bouncing around, going sideways. Politically, that's like really bad for the people currently in power. But, by the end of this year, it doesn't matter. It'll be 150 a barrel of oil. Either way. Any way you look at it, that's probably where it's going. Especially since we're not independent and we've shut down pipelines. Even if they weren't working, they were just being built. At least we would have them built sometime soon, and the market wouldn't factor in future prices of just infinite oil, like $200 barrel oil. Here's the thing: Europe could handle crazy oil prices because everything's, everyone lives in these cities and the distances aren't that big. But the U.S., I mean, everything depends on freight, these semi trucks, and everyone drives like at least 30 minutes to work. I don't know, guys. It's going to be really bad. We're going to see some civil unrest for real. Like by the end of summer, I don't know, but in the reserves, how much reserves do we have? I don't know. Either way, some sort of correction has to happen with oil. If the stock market drops another 10%, maybe a temporary, because look at this move on oil. This purple line right here is oil. This is a weekly chart. The candlesticks is gold. I'm just showing you the correlation. But oil has ran from the COVID dip almost 500%. That's insane. Let's not include the COVID dip. Let's just include from $37 a barrel. Still went up 200%. That's insane. What happened right before the mortgage-backed security crisis in 2008? Look what happened to oil. Right before that happened. Well, here, the stock market dumped, oil fell, and then it just ran. Or wait, no. No, in 2007. it ran up before the stock market crash. That's kind of what's happening right now. That's the correlation. That's what I'm trying to warn you guys about. Like, it went up 158%. Okay, so let's take it from a nice normal price of oil, because oil, had what did it do? It went negative, so I'm not gonna count that. But contango happened in oil. Anyways, if we take it from a normal price of, like, let's say 45 a barrel, it still ran up 160%. I mean, that's equivalent of what happened in 2007. So if oil corrects heavily, right, or it has a decent correction back down to, like, where is it at? Is this right? That's nuts. This is U.S. oil, by the way. U.S. oil is at 125 a barrel. All right, well, it corrects it back down to, like, let's say 100, maybe a little bit below, to like 95. That should give a decent correction in gold and silver. Maybe $100 on gold, $150 on gold, and then whatever on silver, $5 or something. And then after that, it's just explosion to the upside for the rest of the year and years to come, probably. Like, I'm looking at gold, boom, and then just rips higher rest of the year. Oil, nice dip to like 95, and then just rips higher. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. But that's based off of the fact that the stock market takes a nice dump, like, starting tomorrow. And it's been dumping from the all-time high, but continuation of this massive correction, because we just kind of had a dead cat bounce, right? So here's S&P 500. Let's take it to a daily, see what the charts look like. Right? Look, the all-time high was up here at 4,800. Dead cat bounce. And I called it. I made a video. The thumbnail was a dead cat bouncing. What's this now? This looks like a bearish pennant, sort of a dead cat bounce again. Okay? And then further down we go. Here's something else really exciting and interesting. Again, I've showed you guys this before. When gold was at its all-time high back in 2011, the GDX and the GDXJ, so the GDX was at $65. The GDXJ hit $172. Where is the GDX and the GDXJ now? GDX is at $37 only. GDXJ, the junior mining stocks, it's only down at $47. Its all-time high, that was at 172. And the GDX was at more than double, $66. Okay, well, gold has made a higher high than its previous all-time high back in 2011. Technically, these are undervalued by, like, the mining stocks are undervalued by, like, hundreds and thousands of percent, technically. So one more dip in gold, okay? And gold is this orange line, right? And then it shoots higher. And then these two indexes, which track the mining sector, GDX, the large cap mining stocks, GDXJ, the juniors, these have, dude, you're going to see face ripping rallies for weeks and months. They have to catch up. They have to catch all the way up with the underlying physical metal. And this is where, like, you get those 10, 20, 50, sometimes 100 baggers. And over 90% of the time, they do nothing. And then all of a sudden, it's like a crazy bull market for like 6 months to a year, or maybe a couple years. But I mean, it was a couple years back then, right? It was 2 years. We're still in bear market territory for the mining stock. Absolute bear market. They haven't taken off. They recently just popped up. GDX did. But if hopefully they'll smash metals like tomorrow morning, and hopefully it's a big smash this week, like $150 on gold, then that'll give you the ultimate last dip buying opportunity possibly here. And then just, that's it. You just sit back and relax and, take profits on as you need money to buy whatever you need. And then that's it. I mean, this is the giant, once in a lifetime opportunity wealth transfer. Okay? I was off by a year. I thought it would happen in 2021 spring and summer, but it didn't. All right, well, it's probably gonna happen now, right? Like, there's no reason for it to not to. I mean, especially once Powell capitulates and the rest of the central banks around the world, they'll capitulate. Their excuse will be, I don't know, World War, and then that'll be the biggest, it's gonna be crazy times, stressful times. People, you could tell people are pissed and stressed out, like when you go out. So it's during these crazy times where the biggest opportunities, lifetime opportunities are, all right. And when they capitulate with stimulus and more money, QE printing, cryptos will go back up in the bull market. Hopefully by then, PulseChain will be out. Also, listen, I don't talk about this because I can't make videos and give away everything. There's a lot of strategy, and I think I have a winning strategy, and it's a lot of things. But I mean, you have the opportunity between Hex on Ethereum, Hex on PulseChain. You have PulseX. You have PulseChain, right? You have stable coins. You have two. I don't know if USDC will hold its peg, but eventually liquid loans will come out with their stable. But hopefully it holds its peg. But hopefully it holds some sort of peg, right? It won't matter, right? As long as it stays stable wherever. And if you utilize liquid loans properly, right? Now, some people want to make it into a job and they have these theories where I don't want to get into it, but trading, right? So all of the trading going on, right, between all of these, and then you're going to have your shit coins, right, and NFTs, a lot of opportunities. I'm talking like insane shit. 100x here, 100x there, 1000x here, 500x there. Like, and you don't want to miss out on that. You just don't. And honestly, you don't have to be trading in and out daily. You don't. I'll be doing that a little bit in the beginning. Why not? Take some pocket change and do some day trading. Why not? Just do it for like a month or two. You might have 5 winning trades in a row, and that's it. You're retired. Turn 1,000 into $1 million. No problem. It's possible. This is a once in a life opportunity with PulseChain launching. It's possible to do something like that. It really is. Now, if you screw up, as long as you're not trading shit coins, you'll be all right. And if you know position sizing, right? Risk management, right? Risk tolerance and management, and not being emotional. I'll be putting it out in the alert, okay? So, a lot of opportunities, man. It's going to be crazy. Like, all of this trading that's going to be going on is going to pump the crap out of PulseX because it's deflationary and there's pretty much a buyback burn. Not really, but really, okay? I believe. It's not confirmed yet, but super deflationary. It's literally the supply that's minted that's it. Same with Pulse, right? PulseChain. Both are deflationary, but PulseX super deflationary. All right, and a lot of money is going to be flowing first into PulseChain. Huge rally in PulseChain. Huge pent up demand and energy. Then it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. So let me give you an example. Like, you know what? Let's do it on a chart. PulseChain rallies. Let's say PulseX rallies initially, then dumps. PulseChain rallies more, then dumps. And PulseX rallies. And then eventually Hex on PulseChain just explodes. Goes to $10. Or maybe in a different order or something like that, right? And then Hex on Ethereum dumps, then pumps, then dumps. Like, it's just going to be crazy, guys. Like, and I'm going to be putting out what I'm doing in the alerts right after I did them. And then, well, all you have to do is probably get 3 trades, and that's an easy 500x. Like 500 times your money, or 1,000 times your money, or 100 times your money. Even that is life-changing, right? So, huge opportunity coming up this spring and summer. Not just in the stock market, but cryptos, right? So, again, doing a fire sale, $49. Entry fee, and then you get an email invitation, and it's $20 a month. All right, guys. Until next time.